Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second shelf. It's the beginning of a new month. Well, more or less. The month is already a couple of days old, but still, it's still a relatively new month, and that means it's time for my video about new books, the TBR for October. And for those of you who might be new, for the purpose of this video, TBR means to be released, and of course also to be read then at one point or another. But what I do is I look at the new books, the new releases of the upcoming month, in this case October, and then I pick a couple that I personally found interesting, and then I share them with you. And as always, we start off with what I call general fiction, because I try to not use the term literary fiction anymore, because it's not a term that I can really I don't really know what that means. So, general fiction. And for this category, I picked the new novel by Jamie Attenberg, which comes out on the 22nd of October. All This Could Be Yours. Jamie Attenberg is an American author. She is Chicago born, but lives in New Orleans, and you might know her from her quite successful best-selling book, The Middlesteins, which came out a couple of years ago. What I like about Jamie Attenberg is her writing style, the brevity of it, and the wit of it. I quite like The Middlesteins, about a rather dysfunctional family, and All This Could Be Yours is also about a dysfunctional family. We have the patriarch Victor, who's on his deathbed, real estate developer, and according to the blurb, he is a bad man. And as his family gathers, his two children, a daughter and a son, and his wife, they gather in the house around the deathbed, so to speak, in order to come to grips with Victor as a father and a husband, somebody who abused his power in and out of the family. And I love to read about dysfunctional families, I have to say. That probably says more about me than about the books. But I enjoyed, or I love the premise of the book, that you have this family dynamics with a central figure, the father, husband, who is a powerful man and who sees himself as a hero, but who is at his core really an abuser of power. And the way the family, I hope at least that's what the book will tell me, the way the family deals with it, especially towards the end of Victor's life. Do they find a way to break free from his influence? So that's why I picked Jamie Attenberg's All This Could Be Yours for the category general fiction. Next up is nonfiction, and for this I have picked two books, one that already came out and one that will come out towards the end of the month. To start with the one that already came out on the 1st of October, and that is Eve Babbitt's I Used to Be Charming. It's a collection of unpublished essays by her, and if you don't know Eve Babbitt, I will leave a link, with some information down below. But she was born in 1943 in Hollywood, and she was a writer and artist, and gained some notoriety and fame, not only by her writing, but also by her association, with other artists, Jim Morrison, for instance. I was always fascinated and intrigued by her. I just recently read a book, sort of a personal memoir / biography, Eve's Hollywood's Eve, and I think I talked about that book also. So I'm fascinated by her, and the fact that we now can read some unpublished essays made it clear that I had to pick this one for nonfiction category for my October TBR. And the second book in the category nonfiction, which will come out towards the end of the month on the 29th, is a memoir by a debut writer, Jaquira Diaz, Ordinary Girls. Jaquira Diaz was born in Puerto Rico, and when she was in her early teens, the family moved to Miami. The memoir is obviously about her upbringing, her childhood in Puerto Rico and Miami, the family falling apart, the mother battling mental illness. I'm, as you know, I really love reading memoirs, and especially from younger authors. So I'm interested in Puerto Rico. I know very little about the life there, I have to admit. So I'm always trying to find books that will educate me on that subject. Jakira Diaz also has a novel upcoming. I'm Deliberate. I'm not sure. There's no publication date yet set, I think, so it will probably come out sometime in 2020. But for now, I'm really intrigued by a memoir from a younger author set in Puerto Rico and Miami. So Ordinary Girls made the cut, so to speak, for the category nonfiction. Next, I want to talk about translated fiction. But I didn't pick one particular book. Instead, I want to direct you to a website called translit.com. You will find a link down below. That's how it looks. And this is a really fantastic source if you're interested in translated fiction. The website, they have a Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter, and the whole thing, the whole project was initiated by Michael over at Knowledge Lost, a booktube channel, and there are other people involved now. It's a translate team, as they call it, and it's really fantastic. You have queer literature, you have a special subsite for women in translation, there are essays, reviews, and each month they publish a list of translated fiction new releases. And there are so many and so many wonderful ones that I didn't want to pick one. Instead, I wanted to leave a link and give you the opportunity to have a look for yourself. So if you're interested in translated fiction, you should definitely check out Translated Lit. And you can also subscribe to a newsletter if you just want to, be kept updated. The next category is crime fiction. And if you're following my channel, you know I love reading crime fiction. And I picked a book in a new series from Patricia Cornwell, Quantum. Now, Patricia Cornwell, it already came out, on the 1st of October. Patricia Cornwell, I don't think needs any introduction. She's an American crime writer, very well known. She worked at the medical examiner's office when she started writing and published her first book, Postmortem, in 1990, a forensic thriller. And yes, I'm a fan. I mean, not that every book is equally fantastic, I know, but I really love her work. And as I said, Quantum is the first book in a new series, the Captain Chase series. And the main investigator is Captain Kelly Chase, who is a physicist and cybercrime investigator. That's all I need to know, basically. I have to say that if you look at Goodreads, the people who already read the book, the reviews are quite mixed, to say the least. There are relatively big number of reviewers who gave the book, 1 star, 2 stars. I want to read it anyway, like I said, because it's Patricia Cornwell and because it's about cybercrime and the main protagonist is a physicist and cybercrime investigator. But I thought I have to point out to you that the reviews so far were not fantastic. Once I read the book, I will let you know whether I agree with the reviewers. But yeah, the blurb had me at physicist and cybercrime investigator. So Quantum, released on the 1st of October, is my pick for the category crime fiction. And as always, we end our TBR with sci-fi. of course. And for this category, I picked Sue Berg's new book, Interference, which will come out on the 22nd of October. Sue Berg is an American writer. She worked as a journalist and translator before she started writing. And this book, Interference, is the second one in a duology. The first one, Semiosis, came out, I think, 2 years ago, and I really liked it. It's about people from Earth coming to a planet, Pax, and the story about their encounter with the intelligence, I would say, not to spoil anything, that already lives on Pax. Now, Interference is set 200 years after the first Earth explorers came to Pax. I haven't read the book yet, obviously, because it hasn't come out yet. So I'm not 100% sure whether you need to read Semiosis in order, to enjoy Interference. But I don't think so, because the fact that it's set 200 years later. It's set on the same world, Pax, and a new team of Earth explorers comes to the planet, and then the story takes off from there. And as I said, I really loved the first book. I like the premise of this intelligence that is quite different on Pax. I mean, not that the intelligence is different, but the life form that is quite different on Pax, and how the author developed this world and developed the encounters between humans and this intelligence on Pax. So I'm really looking forward to the second book in this duology, Interference, coming out, as I said, I think already on the 22nd of October. So this was it for my October TBR, new books to be released in October. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to talking to you down in the comments. I mean, not talking down to you, but talking to you in the comments. Let me know whether there are books in October that you are especially excited about, or whether you are interested in any of the books that I mentioned. And I'll see you all soon in the next one. Bye-bye.